What's up, guys? I'm sitting in Floyd Bennett Field Park in Brooklyn, New York right now. Let's talk about some tackle stuff, and we're going to go what's inside my tackle box, but it's not quite a tackle box because it's a milk crate because I'm a kayak fisherman. Keep in mind, it's a kayak, so I have limited space, so I have to kind of take with me whatever I think are the best tools to get the job done to catch fish. And we're going to take a look at what ends up coming out with me in saltwater fishing as a general, blanket term of what I like to bring with me. And of course we make changes as we go throughout the season, but this is generally what ends up in the tackle box. So let's go check it out, all right? Alright guys, we're hanging out in front of my truck bed right now, and let's get into what ends up going in this milk crate. This milk crate's made by a company called Precision Pak. This sleeve goes over the milk crate, and what's cool about it, it's got rod holders on this sleeve. I'm sure they make something similar still, and it's got a bunch of pretty useful utility pockets. And the way I organized it, I just found this pretty easy. Front, I like to have easy access to sinkers, fish finder sliders. I keep a pack of swivels over here. Here we keep about some sets of scissors, pliers. The side pockets, I do always have a lip gripper. You don't see them in my videos, but it's in there. Maybe a spare stringer and some other toys. Like right now I have a Hogy Jig Head in here. Usually I do carry a lot of different types of jig heads out with me on the water. And the other pocket, yeah, I might end up putting some random bucktails, stuff like that. And that's what's going to go over here. Over here I have like a top sleeve. It's a pretty big compartment. Here I just like to keep a few pre-tied rigs, and makes my life a lot easier on the water. I try to avoid the Ziploc bag stuff. And here's 2 rigs to live line bunker with, or pogies, menhaden, whatever you want to call them. They're with 9/0 Gamakatsu octopus hooks, and I'll keep 2 of those up here. Basically always ready to go, because you never know sometimes when you're out there and you bump into it and you need a rig ready to go. Alright, there ain't much going on here. This is generally what I'm going to end up building a lot of my fishing off of. So this is what a starting point. Things that generally always end up coming with me, plus or minus a few things. So I usually always have a few bucktails with me. These are going to get used for fluke, flounder, weak fish, sea bass, sometimes striped bass even. They'll end up hitting this stuff. And I'm always packing some sort of Gulp products, either a tub or a few packs of them. Maybe only in the very early season I'm not going to carry these before flounder opens up. But the minute fluke opens up and weak fish are around, this stuff is always getting packed with me in some quantity. Towards the end of the striped bass season, as the water warms up and the stripers leave, I'll be packing the majority of my stuff will be this. I always end up packing a few very large swim shads, just in case I do bump into some good sized fish, and that generally refers to striped bass. And these I'm rigging up with heavier duty jig heads, as I'm generally expecting larger fish. And these are Hogy Jig Heads, 2 ounces to 3 ounces. But in general, I don't catch big fish, or really encounter a whole lot of big fish. Most of the fish I end up encountering are 10 to 20 pound striped bass, so those I'm generally going to go with the some smaller soft plastics, and I call these throwaway jig heads because they're relatively inexpensive. I'll use them on bluefish. And, sometimes I do guide a lot. That's one of the most expensive things I end up having is jig heads. And these get expensive before you know it. Them and soft plastics, of course. But I organize it from about 1/2 ounce to 1.5 ounces. These are Kalyan Jig Heads, some independent companies, Lunker City, a bunch of different ones. And these are going to go in general on all of the soft plastic choices I go with. And what soft plastics come with me? It's also a pretty good question. I always keep a few packs of paddle tails, always, and these are generally my go-to for striped bass. White, a few different colors. These are 5.5 inches. Keep a few packs of those. A few packs of split tail shads and zoom flukes, all that stuff. These are going to be a little bit more of my go-tos for black sea bass, for weak fish, and they'll work great for stripers too. So a thinner profile, a larger profile, some really large profiles, and a few things ready to go. I like to hang them on these sheaths over here, whatever you want to call it. Hang a few swim shads ready to go, so just in case I broke off on something or I want to retie really quick, boom, 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 these shads are ready to go in a pinch. And also, generally what ends up coming up with me, especially when the bunker around, and that's important for in the New York City area, Jersey, New York, Connecticut, bunker snags are going to be in this tackle box. I need to restock on these. I go through a lot of these every season, and these are going to be the snag bunker with, and always with me. And in addition to a few of those, I carry one more tackle box, and I keep a few more supplies in here usually, and I need to refill this. Keep a bunch of barrel swivels in some of these chambers, some more live lining hooks, fishfinder sliders, and that's going to be part of kind of like the live bait collection that I end up keeping with me too. If I don't have any bunker or any real predators on around on live baits, this stuff doesn't really come with me a whole lot. Sometimes I do have other bait options to catch, but they're more specialized and I restock as I go. Earlier in the season, I might have one or two more plugs with me. Sometimes I'm not only fishing with swim shads. This is a Guide's Choice swimmer. This is a great lure, catch a lot of bluefish, stripers, and maybe I'll have tops one or two other plugs with me. That's it. I don't bring a whole lot of plugs out on the water. This is generally going to cover a lot of my bases for an outing of fishing. If I expect a lot of bluefish, maybe I'll be packing some more swim shads and a couple other things too. More bottom fish, more gulps going to come with me, and more bucktails. And I refer to more bottom fish as more sea bass, more fluke. All right, guys. So 70% my fishing happens with this milk crate. We could do another one and talk about how I end up organizing myself if I bring a cooler. Last thing I just found in my truck bed right now is my hook sharpener, and that's going to come over there. Hooks stall out over time. Sometimes you want to change them out. But this gives me a good idea what I need to buy this winter. Not a whole lot. I'm going to spend maybe 30, 40 bucks on some stuff. I always just imagine myself that if I'm digging around in here, I don't want to be digging through layers of stuff, potentially hooks too. It's not the most organized system in the world, but I just narrowed it down to what I feel that I always need to have. And, small adjustments, take some stuff out, put some new stuff in, and that's about it from there. So this is what comes out in terms with me on, for fishing tackle 101 in saltwater. And it's my basic building block that I make my changes as I go. But in general, you're going to see this stuff always in my milk crate tackle configuration. Some of this stuff never gets moved even. The sinkers, I just add more sinkers as I need them. Barrel swivels up there. This stuff always sits here. So I always have a few things kind of sitting and ready to go. As I burn through a pack of swim shads, boom, another pack of swim shads ends up in there. And a lot of times there is heavy species overlap in my area, so I kind of want to be ready for everything. Especially in late spring and early fall. One minute we might be bottom fishing, and then big bluefish roar through, and you got to throw those swim shads at them. Of course, if I were talking about some other very specialized stuff like false albacore, I'll pack that the night before, the right lures for them, and then they'll probably end up, just sitting along on the sides here. Maybe I'll keep one or two packs in the side pouches as I need. So that's about it, really. Find that useful, let me know. We could do something else like that. But this is the basic configuration I have. I try not to keep it overwhelming, but this is by no means a perfect system at all. I overlooked a lot of stuff. A lot of people are going to be look at it like I'm crazy because a lot of things aren't here. Darters aren't here. Bucktails aren't here, and to me, they just don't end up being my essentials. But at the same time, it's for my environment. I don't catch huge fish in general, and I don't consider myself that great of a fisherman. I just try to log as much time out there, get it done with the tools I have. Try to keep it relatively inexpensive. I think this is a pretty inexpensive way I get out there. All right. Like this video, you want to see more, shoot me a comment, thumbs up, subscribe, all that stuff. It all helps out. And we'll catch you next time. And plan on doing some fishing very soon as the weekend comes on. This is a real nice day in January. I'm wearing just a sweatshirt. Isn't that crazy? I wish I was able to get out fishing today, but it didn't work out. So, all right, guys, we'll catch up soon. So tight lines.